I've decided to start this early to make sure sound is okay, that type of stuff, to give Murugi time to come on. So I started it 1 minute early. Hi guys. Hey Teshna, Paula's randomness. This is awesome. Hi guys. I am super excited for today's conversation. So excited. Do you guys notice I sing a lot? Maybe I should think about that. Random fact about Just Ivy. I did music in high school. I got an A. I got the grade of an A, guys, in music. I think I was the only one in high school to actually get that grade. I really need to, I don't know. I need to get back to those skills. We're waiting for Murugi to join. I want to welcome everybody for coming. Thank you for coming in the droves and the numbers that you've come in. Hi, everyone. My name is Just Ivy Africa. If you don't know me, I talk about life and money and women and motherhood here and there. And today we're going to be joined by a very special guest, Murugi Munyi, who is the queen of Instagram. Do we have to buy data again? No, I think you're going to be fine. It's not a trivia. But anyone who joined last week for the trivia for something, we're going to get in touch before the end of the week. Don't panic. I delayed a little bit by sending in the names. That's my fault. This is going to be so fantastic, guys. Hey, Lydia. Ooh. Hey, Lydia. Everyone, I hope you have your notebooks and pens ready. Because Muru. Guys, reminder that I need to have like a background song to these things. Yay! Murugi!
Hi!
Hi, Joanne. How are you?
You have makeup on. I must put a filter. What the hell is this, man?
Put a filter, baby. It's okay. Although I saw your YouTube video with Lydia without makeup. You guys look so fantastic. And you and Lydia, by the way, are the ones who inspired me to learn how to do makeup.
Oh, yeah? And I saw you went to Sly. You're doing good.
I did.
Good. Yeah.
I did. But I had meetings outside of the office today, and I really don't have much on. But thank you. How are you?
I'm good, babe. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Murugi, I'm gonna call you Joanne because that's what I call you. Murugi Munyi is your online link. I know you by Joanne. I'm so excited about this conversation. I'm so excited for this conversation. Thank you for taking time to speak to me and to my movers today. A quick recap for everyone who's joined. Thank you so much for being here today. We're joined by the queen of Instagram, Murugi Munyi, recently crowned by Pulse Influencer Awards. You were looking fantastic on that night. You also got YouTube Influence of the Year with TMI Podcast, very well deserved, and Podcast of the Year.
Podcast Influence of the Year, yeah. Yep.
Guys, that's amazing. That's amazing. Guys, start figuring out the questions that you want to ask Murugi. She was very kind in saying before this live that even if you take extra time after the official business is over, she will be very, very happy to answer all your questions. And that's why I really like Murugi. I want to start, before I ask people who Murugi is, I want to tell people that I'm not telling people this story, Murugi. And I've always wanted to. Before I quit my job, 2.5 years ago in marketing strategy, I spoke to a few people, and Murugi was the one content creator I called. We're not friends. I think acquaintances. We had met for a couple of campaigns or something. And I asked her, Murugi, I think I want to pursue this thing. What do you think? She sent me the most beautiful voice note with 4 points that just made me feel, okay, I'm ready. And then 2 weeks after that, you invited me to your show on Ebru. And then I told you, by then I quit, and you were very
I remember that.
Yeah, I want to say thank you. Murugi, tell me, who are you? Who is Murugi for the people who are joining right now?
First of all, that story is so awesome. I can't even remember sending that voice note, but that just sounds like me because I love sending voice notes. So I don't even wow.
I'm a voice note person as well.
Yeah, I love voice notes. I'm like, why am I typing? I can just tell you, and it's like comfortably in between sending a text and calling. It's just like, it's somewhere in between. I love it so much. Anyway, I'm so glad that you did quit, because otherwise, imagine there would be no Money Monday, maybe there would be no, crazy.
Imagine. Joanne, I was like, wow, look at us now. Joanne, how
I know. Honestly, if you're on this life, just know you are literally one decision away from a completely different life than the life you are living right now. Just know that. Yeah. So who am I? Yeah.
Who is Murugi?
Absolutely. Okay, guys. So if you are joining and maybe you don't know who I am, my name is Murugi Munyi. I formerly used to go by Yummy Mami. I'm also Joanne Murugi Obwaka, but Munyi is my husband's name. Murugi is my middle name. I am a content creator full time. I am a podcaster, a social media influencer. Sometimes people don't realize that content creator and social media influencer are two different things. By the way, they are. I'm a podcaster. I am an entrepreneur. I am a businesswoman. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm just a woman who just lives in Nairobi and has a good time with her life. Yeah, that's what I would say I am.
And what do you do for fun? I love that you've said everything. You have a budding career, but I want to know who Joanne as the person. Like, what do you do for fun, Joanne? When we're not seeing you, what are you getting up to?
The steamer just went here. I'm like, seriously, when does the steamer?
It's okay.
Please,
this is Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, what do I do for fun? God, hanging out with my man, I guess. I feel like my life is fun. You know, I like many times people don't really like hear me, like see me doing things other than what I'll do on Instagram, and that's because for me, my job kind of just is like my life. So I never feel like I need to come out of my job or out of Murugi or who I am for me to feel like I'm having fun. Like when I am on social media, I feel like I'm having fun, or when I am spending time with my kids, spending time with my husband, I feel like my life is just fun. Like I never feel like, oh, I have to do this, then I have to put it aside and now, you know, work, and now it's time for fun. Everything, my whole life just feels fun to me, honestly.
That's so beautiful. And the reason I asked that, and I'm going to be asking this on all my lives, is because I think I was the same way. I thought, oh, my job is fun, but then I realized I work so hard at my job that I forget to work on myself. So I had become that person who tell me about Ivy. I just introduce you based on what I do, but not who I truly am and what I enjoy. So maybe at the next live, you'll be like, I'm Rugi, I'm happy, I'm content, babe. I realized I focused so much on the career that I forgot to focus on the personal development, and that's the journey I'm on right now. Yeah.
And Lydia said something about this the other day, and she was like, she realizes there's nothing that she does in her life which is just purely just because I want, you know, just it's not making money, it's not building a relationship with someone.
Yep. We lost our darling Murugi Munyi, guys. Start getting your questions ready. This is gonna be a fantastic live.
No, I'm on Wi-Fi.
I see a ton of in-betweeners here. Spending time with Lydia, awesome. Guys, set up those questions. We've lost our darling Murugi. She'll be back. This is a live that you do not want to miss. I've wanted to do this with Murugi for quite some time, and I'm happy that she's going to be able to sort us out. In the meantime, feel free to ask me anything. Good. Feel free to ask me anything. Maybe I should bring Lydia on to join while we wait for Murugi. Lydia, you guys, all that money from Spotify, and what's up with your data, Lydia? What's up? Feel free to ask me anything. If you're a content creator, this is the space for you. If you're a budding businesswoman, it's a space for you, especially if your business is online. This is where you need to be until we can get Murugi back. Let's see. Good. Let me just get her back on. How am I, Ivy? I'm a bit stressed, to be quite frank. I'm a bit stressed, but we can discuss that on another live later. Yay!
Hi guys.
I was making fun of you when you had gone. I'm like, all this money from Spotify, you guys, you can't buy data. What's up?
Imagine. And first of all, you know, when people see this Spotify fund, they think that, okay, 12 million here deposited in your account.
But then can you demystify that? Yes.
You know, that's not what happened. What happens is that first they reached out to us and they asked us, okay, you've been identified as a top performer in like Spotify in podcast on Spotify, and they ask you, do you have any needs? So you can have any need from like production costs to maybe having a live event or having whatever, and you put like, this is what we'll spend this for, spend this for, and then whatever it is that you choose, they decide, okay, we're gonna give you money for this and for this, and you have to report back and tell them we did actually use it for this and this. So it's not just that now you just have the money, do with it what you want. It's very organized and like very they meticulously administrate those funds. So
the $100,000 was divided amongst the 4 winners, or
we are not allowed to talk about the amounts. They told us that.
I was trying to get you there. Okay, fine. No, but all in all, but then Murugi, when I saw that, my heart palpitated because I was just like, and you're on my live and I cuss, so you're allowed to cuss as well. And I was like, fuck.
Fuck
The
me.
time for Africa is now. The time for Africa is now. So anyone who's, because I think years ago, if you asked me, is there money in content creation? I was like, I'm not particularly sure. But that was so validating to to our career and the job that we have, that there is the eyeballs are on Africa, and there's and sustainable brand on social media. So you've told us, is Murugi still here? Guys, Murugi keeps breaking. Murugi, are you on data? Every time I have a heavy hitter on these lives, this is what happens to their data. So I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me. Maybe I'm being told, maybe do your own podcast and just invite them there where you won't have these problems. She's gone again, guys. I mean, do you have a full-time job apart from content creation? Now, that is a very interesting question because I get asked that a lot, and content creation is a full-time job, actually. It is a full-time job. It takes a lot of my time, but I enjoy the thrill and, that type of thing. Are there any other questions for me? While we wait for Murugi, let me see if she's asked again. There we are. Love your hair. Thank you. All right. It's a great investment. Okay. Good. Is it the lack of electricity? Could that be messing you up a little bit, maybe?
No, I don't. I'm on my data, so I don't even understand why it is doing such madness. I don't even get it. I don't get it.
Don't worry. Calling Safaricom, please. If you'd like, sponsor my lives. They're very edifying. Sponsor my lives. Be giving my people some data or whatever, and then we can take it from there. Murugi, let me take you just straight to probably like the next question. So you've told us what you do, content creator, influencer. You said there's a difference between being a content creator and an influencer. Please help me understand that.
To me, a content creator is anyone who has a social media account and they create content for it. I feel like it's not necessarily that you have at your production team or whatever. Anyone who is online and creating content, whether or not they're trying to sell something or they're trying to influence people, you're just a content creator naturally. For me, an influencer is someone who has been able to develop a relationship with their audience such that they're able to influence them to buy things. And that's when it becomes a business. That's when now you're able to actually get brands to partner with you because my audience trusts me. And when I tell them this is the margarine that I'm using, they are also interested in trying out that margarine. So for me, that's the difference between those two things. And on platforms like, for example, TikTok, for example, I wouldn't consider myself a TikTok influencer because I don't really sell on there. I would consider myself a content creator on TikTok. But here, I'm a content creator, I'm an influencer. You get?
Yeah, I do. It's something that Carlo Mutoko always says. You can be an influencer, but are you influential? Because you can take up that label or that that title, but are you influential? And Murugi, building a relationship with your audience so they can trust you and buy. How did you build a relationship with your audience to get to where you are now? Because I'm constantly in boardrooms and I'm constantly in meetings, even on phone. And when I see Murugi there, I know that's a big campaign. I'm constantly telling people, love Murugi, hate Murugi. That woman sells. And nowadays, clients are not looking for impressions. They can buy them. Clients are not looking for followers. They can buy them. They're looking for sales. Murugi, how did you build such a beautiful relationship with your audience?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, 3 main things that I feel like have been the pillars of my content creation journey, my influencing journey. And I say that they are pillars because these are the things that people always mention to me when they're giving me feedback about my platform. Number 1, consistency. This one goes without saying, like being consistent. You cannot build a trust relationship with your audience when you show up once a month on your platform. Like every month you're coming to say, oh, sorry guys, I was been away for a while. I was having a creative slump. I've been tired or whatever. How do I know? Why do I want to buy into your story when tomorrow you could decide you're not posting for another 3 months? So for me, consistency kind of like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, It's like if your man is like, I'll call you tomorrow, but then actually he calls you in 2 months. Do you trust this guy? Do you trust this? So for me, I feel like consistently showing up, even on days where I feel horrible, even just to say, I feel horrible today, guys. I don't think I'm going to post anything valuable or interesting. So
Guys, I'm dying. I'm dying. Such a beautiful conversation, and it looks like electricity will go out at my house as well. Tumetema yo matembovu. Remember, keep typing in your questions while we wait for Murugi to come back. Guys, this happened with Georgie. This is happening with Murugi. What's happening? What is going on? What is going on? She's left. And I agree. But I think this is something I'm going to say when she comes back. Consistency is where it at. Someone says here, African Creators Club says sometimes it's consistency versus quality over quantity, or sometimes it's both. You can be consistent in delivering quality. Yeah, I don't know if they work in isolation. I think we can have both. And for me, Murugi actually is the epitome of consistency. Shiko Mushiri, you said, how do you get to be influential? That's the question she's asking now. Because she said to be influential, you have to build a relationship. So that's the question she's asking now. I think Lydia is
Ivy, can you see me now? Am I back?
I can see you now. I can see you now. Lydia said she sent you bundles. So
you know what, Lydia? Fuck you. I have money.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for being here. And let me tell you something, by the way, before I forget. You and Lydia, your relationship, even just her being here on the live, that support, that chemistry is something that it's so beautiful. Like, and it's very natural. It's not a lie. You have to show up for each other. And I love that you guys do. Thank you so much for being here, Lydia. Lydia, now that Lydia sent you bundles, Murugi, you were telling us about consistency. And I was going to tell the crowd here that for me, indeed, I think you are one of the most consistent content creators and influencers I have ever had the privilege of working with, which is why that time when I called you to figure out my career, you were the first person I called. I was like, who else? Who do I see? Who do I want to emulate? That's why I called you. So consistency.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah. So consistency is definitely number one. And it doesn't mean that you come on and like you be fake. Because obviously it's like no one expects you to come on smiling. No one expects you to come on. Am I still
the live
I don't know, lotion, like just showing up as your authentic self. And for me, that's the second point, is authenticity, is being 100%.
The irony, guys, the irony, the queen of Instagram breaking on Instagram live. I like this irony so much. Thank you for staying with us again. I realize when you movers and probably half followers from Murugi's page here want to learn something new, you don't F around. You stick by us until the conversation is done. So she's left again, guys. This is comedy. This is comedy, guys. This is comedy. This is comedy. Hey. All right, let's see. She's not even asked to be back. Maybe I don't know if she's gonna come back. If Lydia is not here, I'm gonna ask Lydia to join. The bundles are not bundling. Yes. The last thing she said was authenticity, consistency, and authenticity. iPod for me, what they believe authenticity is. If you could describe authenticity with another word, just one word, what would that be? What does authenticity mean for you? While we wait for Murugi to come back, guys, please tag at Safaricom so that they can be sponsoring my live so we can figure this out. Please type out at Safaricom, Saidia Movers, at Safaricom, okay? Please. And Murugi still hasn't whatever. Someone asked me, because I said maybe in the meantime you can ask me something. Someone asked me, what do I do for fun? I think I've said, I like to sherehe. You'll find me on the dance floor sherehing a little bit. I've taken a bit of a tequila shot. I like doing that for fun. I love watching documentaries. Like even on my flight when I was going to London, I was watching documentaries the whole time. So for me, the learning process is fun, which is why I understand when Murugi said her job is fun. For me, the learning process is a lot of fun. Murugi has asked to be back. Originality. Okay, people are saying what authenticity means to them, and I love it. It might mean originality to you, believability, real. Joanne, welcome back.
Guys, I restarted my phone because I don't understand what's happening. Yeah,
you restarted one of your phones. After that, maybe you switch to the other phone. Maybe it's the filter. You're very naturally beautiful. Maybe it's the filter.
Let me
she's
remove
using
the filter, by the
right now,
way.
you know?
Okay, I've removed.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Who
I'm just
knows?
saying. So before, while you were coming back, I asked everybody to just type out what authenticity means to them in one word. So that's what you're seeing. We're getting now in the comment section: realness, rawness, honesty, being genuine. You know. I also told my people to tag Safaricom so that they can be sponsoring these lives, so that you never have a problem. So next time I'm calling for a live, a Safaricom van will be outside your door. Okay. Thank you so much for moving for me. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Joanne, you're telling us about authenticity, which was your second pillar. Yeah, keep telling us about authenticity.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
Guys, I'm finished. I'm finished. I'm finished. I am finished. Please, I am finished. All right, guys. Keep telling me. Thank you. Keep tagging. Say dear movers. Keep tagging originality, authenticity, showing up the way I am. Oh, I love that. I love that. For me, authenticity is just being yourself. Being yourself. Gone again, guys. Gone. Pew, 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 pew. This will go down as the weirdest live I have ever hosted. But yet you guys still keep coming and you keep engaging. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So I think I've told you guys what I do for fun. I also listen to podcasts. I read here and there. I like journaling. I like spending time with special people because my love language is quality time. So I like spending time with special people. Feel free to ask me anything. Again, yeah, D for Dan, guys. Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully, if this happens again, we might actually have to postpone this till Murugi is ready. But in the meantime, I'm here. It's just Ivy. Literally, it's just me. So feel free to ask me anything. I know on an episode on YouTube. I know. Let's see if she's going to be able to come back. For those of us who are just joining, we are speaking to Murugi Munyi, aptly dubbed the Queen of Instagram, on how she grew a profitable and sustainable business. If you guys have been following Murugi from the beginning, which I have when she used to be Yummy Mommy, do you guys remember that there was a time she used to promote her own personal posts? For me, she was the first content creator I ever saw doing that. And let me tell you, I was like, who is this bold woman? And I clicked follow immediately because I think that's the point of the ads. They worked. And I also want to ask her about that, right? Her ideation, her strategy, her thinking behind building the brand that she's built. And remember, she's told us that she makes millions. So keep it tuned so that when she comes back, she can explain to us what exactly are millions? How is she making these millions? And how can we also make these millions as well? Okay. All right. Let's see if she's back, guys. No, she's not. I think she's got to change to her other phone. I think her current mobile phone is not doing it for her. So she's got to change to one of her other phones. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we should sponsor this and make it a live event. Murugi Munyi, Just Ivy Africa live. Maybe it should be like a women's event in general. Hands up if we should do a women's event live and co-host it with Murugi. Lydia, if Lydia is still here, my Lydia has now gone to Murugi's house. Good, she's tried. All right, here we are.
Guys,
accept me. Sorry, I hadn't seen. I was trying to keep the crowd calm. They were about to riot.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Okay, now I was using my bundles. Now I'm hotspotting from my sisters, and it already seems clearer. So my fingers are very crossed. Very
guys,
crossed.
let's send positive energy to this live so that it can be done. Woo! All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Authenticity. Let's go.
Yes, authenticity. My God, for the 27th time this evening, guys. Consistency, number one. Authenticity, number two, and like probably one of the most important one as well. And then number three, quality of what it is you're saying over the quality of the production. And that's something that for me has always been like probably a hallmark of the kind of content that I create. I feel like many people worry about, they'll be like, oh, I want to be a content creator and I have so many important things to say, but I don't have an iPhone, or I don't have a camera, or I don't have this. People will overlook any kind of bad quality in production. Of course, not like the worst, but like poor quality in production over the quality of what it is that you're saying. So are you talking about things that people care about? And for me, I remember that when I first started, and the reason why I was Yummy Mommy is because obviously I was talking a lot about motherhood, and at that time I really couldn't find any Kenyan content creator who was just sharing a raw experience of motherhood. Like, are your nipples also cracking, you guys? Are you also struggling to have sex after giving birth? Are you also not sleeping and you're on the verge of depression and anxiety? I was just like, why is nobody talking about these things? And it's the fucking ghetto, you know? I was like, that's what I wanted to share. And I think that being able to give quality experiences to people, and you know, people come on social media to be social. They want to feel like, oh, you go through that too. Oh, I also know how to do makeup. Oh, you're also trying to be like me. That's what people want to connect with. So I would say those three things: consistency, authenticity, and quality messaging, or quality of the kind of content that you're creating, I would say.
And Joanne, you know, right now I can say you're an expert. You probably have clocked your 10,000 hours. I can see you're an outlier in this field. Going in, did you know that this is exactly what you needed to do? So is it that you had been following other content creators or other women who inspired you that showed you consistency, authenticity, and quality? Or is it something you learned on the job?
It's something I learned on the job. Like, I've always felt like social media, it just came very naturally to me because I love communicating. I love people hearing what I have to say. I will talk to anyone who will listen. My husband can tell you. I just love talking. So for me, it was just an extension of how I am in real life. Like, just my being a storyteller, basically. I love telling stories, and that's why you always notice I'll post a lot on stories, like all the time, 24/7. I'll literally show you I have taken a shit and now I am going to bed. Now I'm thirsty and I love being able to weave the story of my life for my audience to be able to come along with me, because I feel like it's more of a raw experience as opposed to like, this is my perfect life, this is my perfect husband, my perfect kids. So I don't even remember if I don't think I followed anyone. I think for me, I was just like, let me just go on, especially because I wasn't doing it to become rich or doing it to make money or doing it to, no, I was just doing it to just share. It was more like therapy to me. It was like, I wanted to find a community of women who are going through the same struggles as me. How it became money making was like, now I was like, oh wow, oh, so we're making money and we are just being ourselves. Fantastic. So yeah, I didn't have like a blueprint or anything like that.
No, that's fantastic. So I want to go back, before I asked you what shaped your career, I want to go back to what shaped the fact that you're so good at communication. Because I want someone who's watching this, who's constantly being told, you're too talkative, be quiet, you're too loud, tone down. Someone who's being policed. Is there something, whether it's your parents or teachers in your past life or some friends, anything that you can remember was done that made you, whether you were in a shell or not, or that built these communication skills? Because as a content creator, I love that you said you have to be a storyteller. You have to be able to tell stories. So is there something that happened that clicked in your mind? I'm like, oh, this is good. Or is it something that your folks did? You know, for some of us who are raising children, you know, is there something you can remember?
Yeah, I don't remember anything. All I remember is that all through growing up, my mom always used to say I'm the most talkative and I'm the most argumentative. In fact, all through growing up, people would always call me Wakili because they all thought I was going to be a lawyer. If you know me in person, you know that I am extremely confrontational. I really like to talk about things. I'm the kind who, me and my husband will have a fight and I'm like, we're not sleeping. No one is sleeping until we talk about this issue. I just like to talk. I like for things to be out in the open. I hate when there's like misunderstandings or miscommunications. I'm like, you just say what you want to say and me, I say what I want to say, and then we have a conversation. I always remember my parents encouraging that aspect of me, not like specific. Like, my mom just always saying that, oh, you know, you're really good at expressing yourself, and it was never, I never sensed it as like a negative thing at all. And I actually wanted to be a lawyer until we went, after high school, we had to go for like work study at an office in the career that you wanted to be in, and I saw that lawyers are not like suits, that actually it's sitting in the office and just writing up a bunch of papers, and I was like, no thanks. I'm not gonna do it. But another thing that I think was defining for me is that after I finished university, so I studied international relations and I studied transitional justice, which is basically like international law kind of. And I really wanted to come back. That was in South Africa, and I wanted to come back and work in the UN and work in like an NGO and something like that. But when I came back, I realized that those kinds of jobs are paying you 20,000 for an internship position. And I had a child, and I was like, I don't have time to be waiting to like build years of experience. And I went for an interview at BAT, which is the first place that I ever worked. And I remember the boss who was hiring me, his name was Jerry. He just said, you're really good at communication. Why didn't you study communication? And that's the first time that I actually thought about like, wow, yeah, communicating is a skill that you can actually get paid for. At that time, I didn't really think about it as like social media, but I remember then thinking, I'm
Hey, it was me now, and I have to. Yeah, I realized my phone is dying, so I'm gonna have to hold the phone. So it'll be a bit shaky, guys. Sorry.
Oh, praise God. I thought it was me again. I was going to be like, okay, I can't be letting down Kenya like this. I can't. Okay, praise God.
You're really. No, but I was telling people this is a tactic. You want people to just stay here. Like I don't know what you're doing. This is so cool. Joanne, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, you were telling us about BAT, Jerry, communications. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the point at which I was like, I hadn't realized before that communications was something I could actually make a living off of. You know how you just have a very just streamlined idea of what careers you can take. So I hadn't thought about social media. I hadn't thought about comms in its own, like comms and marketing, because I feel like my strong points are communications and marketing. I hadn't thought about, like social media as a career. That came way later. But at that point, I feel like him saying that, and I always remember him in the interview always saying, I can see you've studied international relations, but I can tell you're good at communications. That really had like a mental impact on me, thinking, I know I'm good at communicating. I know I'm good at storytelling,
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Yeah. So then tell me, because I did a bit of research. I mean, I've been following you for some time. So I know that you started in marketing before now moving to content creation, as you've explained. Tell me what completely shaped the trajectory of your career. Was it having a child? Was it posting one or two posts and then seeing that you can get paid? What shaped the trajectory of your career? The way, for example, me, it was one Money Monday that blew up, and I was like, shit, okay, so maybe this is what I need to be doing. Wow, what shaped the trajectory of your career? Yeah.
So for me, I remember it was December 2018. So at that point, I had been like creating content intentionally for maybe 3 to 4 months. Yeah. And that December, I remember I got my first paying job. It was with Junction Mall, and it was 100,000. Yeah. And I remember going home to my husband that day, at first when they reached out to me, I thought it was a joke. I was like, is someone trying to play with me because they know I've just gotten into content and whatever?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, this is our budget. Sorry, we can't stretch beyond this. Me, I'd not even been paid a cent to advertise anything until that point. So I was like, I jumped, of course, at that point, 100,000. I offered them like 1 million deliverables. But I remember going home. Yeah. I remember going home to my husband and just telling him, babe, someone is paying me 100,000 to post on Instagram. And I remember telling him like, oh my gosh, this could be like a real thing. This could be like something that I could actually do full time. And I remember I love my husband so much. I remember him saying, he's like, yeah, and imagine that's what you're doing when you have a full-time job. Now imagine if that was your full-time job. And that's when I actually started thinking about like, wow, I could actually, you know, make money from this. This could be something that I actually do. And I remember that just that one check, that junction check, man. And it was for Christmas. I remember they were having a mother's something and they were like, oh, come and tell the mothers. That's when I was like, people can actually pay me for this. And from then I was just like, I just believed in myself. I was just like, I know that if I've made money from this one, I know I can make so much more, especially if I'm actually focusing on it, you know?
I love that. I once attended a CEO's breakfast with Esther Mushemi. She's a dollar millionaire, founder of Samchi Electronics and Samchi Credit, blah, blah, blah. And she said it's impossible to fully like realize your potential when you have one foot in the door and one foot out. You have to be able to immerse yourself in what you're doing so that you can, you know, you can build sustainability. And that's the thing with content creation that I really struggled with in the beginning, because I too had a job. I mean, I quit, but then you end up being in a market where everyone who you're competing with, I don't like saying competing. Let me work with competition. So your competitors, your competitors have jobs, but they do content creation on the side. So by the time you're charging, let's say $500 for a picture, people are like, what the hell? So they can go and pick from a plethora of 500 other people who have other jobs and they don't take this seriously. So I'm going to ask you about challenges and struggles in the content creation space just a little bit later. I want to know, recently you did content creation. I want to know if you made enough money now for you to be able to build this beautiful budding shop that you have called Wild by Murugi. I'm a customer. Guys, I kid you not.
Oh, yeah. All right, thank you.
Best customer service I've received from an online shop, like ever. The goods were in my house in seconds. The size was perfect. Communication was brilliant. I was just like, this is so on brand, Murugi. Like, it's so Joanne-esque. I'm like, this is so good. You. So is it that you made enough money to start the shop, or what inspired you to start Wild by Murugi, if I may ask?
Okay, yeah. So I feel like when you become a content creator, sometimes you might say that this is the side I want to focus on, but people start knowing you as this other thing. So for me, I feel like I had never intended to be like a plus size clothing ambassador or a plus size ambassador for women in Kenya. But somehow, just by virtue of the fact that I'm plus size and I dress like I actually love my body, and like many plus size women who maybe they always dress to hide their body or hide their curves. Me, I was just here wearing crop tops and shorts and whatever. I noticed a lot of clothing brands wanted to work with me, and I did work with a lot of clothing brands until at some point I was just asking my assistant Nancy, and I was like, why am I making so many people rich? I'm making so many people rich. And you maybe have been paid, okay, you're 150K or you're 200K, but they have made $1 million from what you have posted, because so many people have gone to the shop and they have bought. And for me, I was like, why am I not doing it myself? Because a lot of times I'll wear something and people will be like, oh, where did you get that? And it used to be nice to hear this from brands until it became painful. Every time they would message me and tell me, oh my gosh, we sold out our product.
Sold out.
Yeah.
That is a very painful message. Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. Initially, I used to be like, wow, until I realized I'm like, so all these people, they have so much, many people have money. Don't think that people are broke. If you're broke, but it's just you. People have money in this Nairobi, let me tell you. Yeah. Even places that I would even post something like wigs which are like 60K. And she's like, wow, so many people came and bought. And I'm like, people just woke up and said to come and buy a wig for 60K after they saw me, posting about it. And it made me feel like I was not tapping enough into my potential, because I was like, if my audience is already buying the things that I wear or I like, why not provide it for them in a space that is mine, that I've curated, which are clothes that I like, instead of sending them to there and then to there and then to there. And I'd actually honestly been thinking about it for a really long time. It's just that this year is when I felt like, oh, I have time, because I guess maybe because Tana is a bit older and she's in school, and so I felt like I had a bit more time on my hands. And yeah, the money from Wild, by the way, is 100% money I have made from content creation. All my income comes from content creation until I opened Wild. So I have been able to save money from that. My other sources of income, which I know we're going to talk about later, are more like small maintenance ones. But the chunk of my income is from content creation. And so if you don't think that content creation, because I've seen someone asking, a few people asking, is content creation worth it? It's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it if you know what you're doing. Look at us. Look at me and Ivy. Hey. Yeah, this is why I love social media, because I know it's brought a lot of negative elements in terms of like people's mental health. But on the plus side, it's really opened up a way for people to make money without having to go and get a job, without having to go and, necessarily study for years and years and years. But yeah, so I love it. So that's how I found myself here at Wild, making my own money. And it's pretty good. I would say it's pretty good.
Good job, Joanne. Good job. And I love also the content creation going on the Wild page. I'm one of those people who's very obsessive. When I see something I like, I'm very obsessive. I have to know vision. And I like emulating successful people and successful pages. So I love that the same expectations we have from Murugi's page is the same expectations that we have on Wild Murugi. And you're not disappointing. But here's the catch. You've explained it in minutes. I was selling out for people. I started a shop. I'm sure it was not that easy. I think it took you probably a few years. I want you to take me through, just in brief, your journey from conceptualization of the idea to for Wild to execution, and the challenges you had in between. Because someone might be watching this wanting to start a shop and might be thinking it's easy. And then there's this thing for, if Joanne can do it, anybody can do it. But I don't think it's that easy. Take me through that.
Okay. Actually, it was not years. It was pretty much months. And it was actually quite easy. It was actually quite easy.
The phone will find charge later. Please. Guys, notebooks.
Yeah, it was actually quite easy. And this is the thing, let me tell you, that I've noticed about people. There's two different kinds of people. When it comes to content creation, when it comes to business, there are people who, like, you need to have the whole business plan thought out in your head. You need to have seen it, and you need to know that this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Like perfectionist kind of people when it comes to content and when it comes to business. My husband is like that. I, on the other hand, am not like that. For me, I'm usually, what is just the next step I need to take to get me closer to there? Whether or not I have seen like the end, the final product. I have this I don't know, it's just a belief that I just have that things are just going to work out. And more often than not, they do work out. So for me, let me say, first of all, I recognize my privilege. I recognize my privilege because I had the money and the funds to do it. And it's not like, my whole life's dreams are like depending on this one thing. For me, it was just like, I try something. I'm always like, I try something. It works out. Fantastic. It doesn't work out. Okay. Then now we just move on to the next thing. So for me, when I decided I wanted to have the shop, I was like, okay, what do I need? I need to find a shop. No, actually, the first thing was I need to create a logo. So I went on Canva and I created a logo. And by the time I was posting on my Insta stories, Wild by Murugi coming soon, I didn't have a shop. I didn't have any clothes. I didn't have anything. I had absolutely nothing. So for me, that's what so when I tell you, I go by faith. I go by faith. And so now, once I posted and I opened the page, and that's why I'm always telling people, you'll get so stuck in your head of like, okay, when will I announce? Where am I going to get the products from? How am I going to price? I was like, right now, all I need is a logo and an Instagram page. So I opened the logo and the Instagram page. As soon as I posted, that's when I was like, okay, I wanted to gauge what do people like, how many people are going to follow the page, how many people will be interested in this. I went on my stories on Wild by Murugi, and now I was like, okay, let me ask people, like, what kind of things do you want to see? So people were like, of course, we want to see plus size items, we want to see basics, we want to see dresses, whatever. And I used that information to now get the products that I wanted. Given, of course, the fact that I already had the privilege of having my own platform, because I realized that for a lot of people, it's not as simple. You don't already have a platform of 300,000 people who are ready buyers, so that's also a privilege. So because I had that, I just knew people are always buying the things I advertise to them. I know they're going to buy the things that I wear because they're always buying them anyway. So for me, I ask people. Then now I have many friends who are in business. I have many like content creator contacts, so I was able to ask people, okay, where do you source this? Where do you get your packaging? Do you know any shops that are available? And I think it's in the span of like 2-3 months, And the third month was mostly just doing fittings that I was able to get things off the ground. By the time even I announced it, I had lots of people who are saying, oh, I want to work with you for doing the fittings. I want to work with you to do this. So you see, and then it all came together. And alas, we had the shop. So for me, there was no actually, I wish I had a really nice story of like, oh my God, you know, we've been trying for years and years. I really haven't.
I think this is the best story of a business that I've ever had. Like, not years, months. I posted without knowing, and you've spoken to me and very many other overthinkers. Guys, Makofi, clap for Murugi, please, in the comment section, because I'm so jazzed. You've really spoken to me and other overthinkers by saying sometimes it's not about the big picture, the big vision, because I think I'm a visionary. Sometimes it's about the next step. And the next
what is the next best thing?
What is the next step?
Exactly.
That'll get me closer
because
to
you see
goal.
when you sit and you start thinking about how many things need to get done, you will never even do anything. By the way, you'll never even when I start thinking, oh my God, I need to do 3 reels and 5 posts or whatever, like you'll just start thinking, okay, what do I need? What's the ideas for the other posts? Like, what am I going to talk about for 5 posts? You may just think about, okay, this week we have 1 post that we need to do. Let's think about that 1 post. And then that's what helps you get the momentum of your life, because otherwise you get so stuck in the planning and the thinking and the what ifs, and those what ifs might not even happen. But where are you right now? What can you do right now to get you that?
Where are you right now
to the thing that you want? Where are you right now? What can you
do
right now tonight?
I am so fascinated. By you saying it's about what's the next step that will build a momentum. You've just made me realize that momentum is built from moments, like momentum. So you have to make sure that you maximize that one moment you have, get as many going as possible, get the ball rolling, and then you have momentum.
Exactly.
Murugi.
And have at least,
most
people will have like a general idea of what it is that they want to do. The number of people who come into my shop and they tell me, oh, I've been wanting to start a business about or for this, I've been wanting to start this. And I'm like, why haven't you? And some people will say money. Some people will be like, oh, I'm still researching this and this and this. I'm like, you need a day of research. Okay, if really you're sitting down to do research, you need a day, you need 2 days. A lot of people don't put timelines for themselves. So you can be researching, you've been researching for 4 years. Susan, why are you still researching? Why are you still researching? It's time now. You need to, and the reality is that a lot of,
Look, please finish.
Okay, the reality is that the real reason why people are not starting is fear. People are afraid of being judged. They're afraid of what people will say. They're afraid of failure. And me, let me tell you, when I tell you I don't live in a place where fear is, I literally just don't. I just don't. Because I'm like, what I fear is poverty. What I fear is not being able to afford the things that I want. And that one and fear of being judged cannot exist in the same space. Okay, because you're going to be afraid of what people think about you. People are too worried about their own lives, for them to care about you, what you're doing with your business, you, what you're making money, how it's about you, by the way. Guys, don't allow fear to rule your life, man. Don't allow fear to rule your life. I'm telling you.
I love it. Murugi, we have Sharon. Sharon Kimwangi, who's joining. Hi, Sharon. Sharon has asked you, Murugi, please address this comment. Someone has said, because you're a content creator, it's easy for you to do business. There's this narrative that because you're a content creator, it's easy for you to do business. What is your comment on that? And then, guys, when she answers this, I'm going to also just be scrolling through the other questions that you've asked so that Murugi can get to answer your questions. Let's go. Murugi, what do you think?
So I know where you're coming from, Sharon, and it's because many people just assume that because you are a content creator, automatically you're going to sell. And there's something that I remember Nancy Moy has always told me, why Nancy quit YouTube, and I'm sharing this because she's shared it in public forums before. She always says that when she was a YouTuber before, and when she decided to start Shop New Level, she posted, I think she posted about, she started this new shop, and for the first week, only 2 people bought something. Only 2 people bought something from her shop. And that's when she realized, she's like, so you people, you've been here saying, start your business, we'll support you. And the reality is that not everybody is going to support you. Not everyone. Will I say that it's definitely easier? 100%. It is 100% definitely easier for me as a content creator, or like someone who already has this big platform for me to sell. Because when I post on my page, I definitely see a huge chunk of people coming to follow, a huge chunk of people coming to buy, but it's not automatic. It's not, there's like a combination of factors. If I was selling shit in my shop, it doesn't mean that people are automatically going to come and buy, because consumers these days are very smart. Even as a content creator, people are smart. They're not going to just come and buy it just because Ivy has said, oh, go and download this app. They won't just go buy. They'll ask questions. They'll be like, is my money safe? What can I do with this? Why is it better than this other? People are asking, and people will definitely come and see, okay, is it good quality? Is this something that I actually need? Is it something that I actually want? So it does give me a step in terms of, I already have an audience I can market to directly at little to no cost to myself, but I still have to prove myself. I still have to go above and beyond and create good content. Otherwise, why would I even be going for photo shoots? I'm going for photo shoots, I'll just be like, guys, here, these are tops. You come to my shop and you buy. But it's not like that. It's not like that. I know Sharon probably has experienced that as well, because she also has a platform and she has an amazing business. But for sure, it is absolutely not automatic. For sure,
it's not automatic. And I think also what I would add to that is you building the brand as a good, trustworthy, influential content creator was not easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes back to like what you commented on Money Monday. You have received a crap ton of flack. I don't know how you deal with some of the things that come your way. Sharing your life on social media on a daily basis is not something everybody can do. So I think people might think this content creation thing is easy, but to build an impressionable brand is not. And we are privileged to have watched you grow from those few thousands of followers to that first time you posted a sponsored post, and I'm like, who the hell is this woman? I'm gonna look out for this one. To your first 100K, 200K, 200K to your awards. So content creation is not easy. It's difficult, but it's the difficult that Murugi has picked because it's natural flow in her, and she's an expert at it at this stage. So I think you building that brand, I don't think that was easy, and you inspire a lot of us, Joanne. I have to tell you that. Joanne,
thank you.
Someone said your gatekeepers, aka your personal assistants, are blocking you from partnerships. What do you say about something like that? I'm just gonna ask some of these things here.
Oh, okay. So
it was a long while ago, and I wrote it down. So I'm trying to flow from top to bottom. Your gatekeepers, you have issues with gatekeepers. In fact, maybe how we can rework that is, other than gatekeepers like personal assistants, how about agencies or middlemen when it comes to deals or something like that? Yeah.
I feel like in whatever industry you're in, there are challenges that you have to face. That's definitely one of them. I've experienced what do you call it? Agencies who maybe they are being paid 300,000 to pay an influencer, but they'll only offer you 150. Or agencies that just make it so much harder for you to get paid. So they get paid by the client like now, and then they're gonna pay you in like February or something like that. So that's definitely it's a challenge, but I would not say I don't know what I would say. The challenges that I experience right now, for me, it's just like a part of the job. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I really try my best not to get stuck up on like, oh, these people are taking long to pay, or this is happening. Because in any space that you're in, there will be negativity, there will be risks, there will be challenges. But for me, thank God, first of all, for my assistant / manager, Nancy, because she manages a lot of the admin, logistics, that side of the business. So for me, really all I focus on is creating content. All I focus on is providing value to my followers. That's all I like to focus on. Everything else in between, I'm just like, okay, that's happening. It's unfortunate. It's especially unfortunate for younger content creators and like people who are coming up. Sometimes I really do feel like you and I, Ivy, we were in like an earlier crop, so I feel like we'd have a bit of an easier time.
Yeah.
Times it might be difficult. Nelly, is it post?
No, it's good.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry.
Post for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I feel like for us, it might not be as difficult. Like at the beginning, getting work was like, it was a bit spaced out. Right now, we don't write proposals. I don't send out proposals to people. It's just people who come to me. But I realize that that's not for everyone. So perhaps that question maybe for the younger content creators. For me, not as much that I have noticed, because anyway, the work that I don't get, I don't even know that I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know that it's supposed to be me. So I'm just like,
it probably wasn't. It probably wasn't meant for you. in the
exactly.
first place. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. Joanne, someone asked, I live in Rwanda and we've not gotten to a position where content creators are paid for content here. How do I move?
Create anyway. That's what I would say. I would say create anyway. There are international brands that would still pay you for the content that you
That's it.
create.
That's
We
it.
have worked with Netflix. We work with this company called Beducated, which is based in the US. There's
Yeah.
a German company that I'm going to start working on. There are lots and lots. And kwanza, in this
Yeah.
world of today, globalization is just,
Yep.
it's taking
Yep.
over, guys. You can get paid by international, even Ivy, you've worked with a few international brands and companies all the time. We did MasterCard recently. So keep creating. And one thing that I would say is, don't create with the thinking of the money. I get that you're coming into the space and you want to make money, but that comes on its own later. Create to
Yeah.
make to provide value to the audience that you have right now, and the money
Yeah.
automatically will sort itself out. Don't create
Yeah.
thinking, I want money, I want more followers. Create for the followers you have today. Create for the
Yeah.
followers who have already said, this is content worth following, let me follow
Yeah.
this page. Create for those people, because those are the ones who have believed in your brand. And by doing
Yeah.
that, consistently creating authentic and creating good quality content for them is how it gets you to be able to make money. It gets you to be able
Yeah.
to work with the brands that you want to, and even to grow your followership.
I agree, and I love that you said that. Too many a time we are boxed into the country that we live in, yet our office is the globe. The other day, my kids were asking me, "Mommy, where's your office?" I told them, everywhere, everywhere and anywhere. Don't box yourself into thinking I must get Kenyan companies to. Nah, fam. It's a big world out there, and what you can do is probably localize your content. And the only other thing I would add to that beautiful piece of advice you've given people is, if someone is struggling with content creation, how about documentation? I'm only telling guys, don't overthink creating content, and come on, document your life. You might be in Rwanda and you're experiencing beautiful culture or whatever, something that other people would love to see and you have no idea. Document that content. I have a friend, Kimeo, I don't know if you'll shout out to Kimeo. Kimeo rides a motorbike, and recently he got a video that hit, I think, probably over 25 million views on TikTok, and all he did was go park the motorbike somewhere and allow children to rev it. Guys, 25 million views on TikTok. Just something so genuine he wanted to do, and he documented the experience. So sometimes not about sitting down, brainstorming, and creating ideas. It's just about documenting your day-to-day, and you just never know. Murugi, I love that you said that. Think global, think international. The
Exactly.
world is our
And I
oyster.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
The word documentation, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys have been saying there's an echo on my side. Are you hearing an echo
That's
on my
what
side?
I'm seeing. I don't hear an echo.
Me, I'm not hearing
The
anything.
sound for me is
I'm
absolutely
so
perfect.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Me, I'm just hearing
They're even
myself
talking to Nelly now. The guys are not even addressing you anymore. They're
Nelly,
addressing
people are talking to you. They
Nancy.
said you shut
Nelly.
up.
Is there a reason there's an echo there? Nelly, come on.
Nelly,
Yeah.
she's just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
First of all, she's hotspotted me. Oh, now I'm on the Wi-Fi, Nelly. Why? Oh dear. Anyway, it's fine. I like the idea of documentation, because a lot of times people are like, people come and tell me, oh, my life is boring, so I don't think I can be a content creator. And I'm like, everywhere, even I have boring days, because of the way that I document. Sometimes you might think that my life is like, I wake up, wow, it's a new day. Kids, let's get ready. These people even tell me, like, they watch my stories and they're like, you look like you have lived like 5 days in one day. All they have done is move from the sitting room. But what I realize is that people are not coming on here to watch an act. Literally, it could be anything as simple as like, oh, I'm brushing my teeth, and then people will comment and be like, oh, you brush like this, not like this. Or someone else will be like, you use that toothpaste. I've heard that this and this has happened with that brand. It's all about that generating engagement, generating conversation. It can come from absolutely anything. The most mundane task to you, or the most mundane thing to you, is actually interesting to someone else, because they just want to connect with someone. People just want to connect. Yeah, literally, they just want to connect.
That's so beautiful. People just want to connect, and that's why I love when you said, don't create for the money, create for those first few followers who are there to connect with you.
Exactly.
Don't sell your audience out. Which is why sometimes you will never see me promote something that I would not use myself. There's this connection I have with the audience that's just, like Money Monday stresses the shit out of me, but I can't let it go, because I have a connection with these people who come every Monday expecting some of these things. So I love that you said that. I love that you said that. You, by the way, you're an avid mover. I love it. I love Money Monday. And that's one of the mistakes I made. I think starting out thinking about maybe the money, I would want you, Murugi, to tell us what mistakes you made while starting out in the business of content creation. And in that same tune, because I'm seeing a lot of business people here, Muru, it looks like we have some very beautiful business men and women who follow us. I'm very happy. There's a lot of them engaging in the comment section, just talking about how to drive traffic to each other's pages. Guys, remember here, plug each other. Tag your page. First and foremost, please go follow Murugi Munyi and follow Wild by Murugi. And then tag your pages.
You.
If you're a shop selling something, tag your page, tell us what you sell, whatever. Murugi, what mistakes did you make coming up in the content creation industry? And now that you've started a shop online, what mistake do you yourself see other online shops, especially on Instagram, making that you probably just said, okay, I won't do that, and that's how Wild by Murugi is going to succeed?
Okay, so mistakes that I made in content creation, I would say the one that comes right out at me is sharing too much about my marriage. That one, that one just always bites me in the head. Like, I would actually share, post pictures of my husband and share his handle, and I don't even understand why I was sharing his handle. Like, at that point, it's just like, I don't know. At the beginning, I kind of had a very idealistic view of how my followers view me, or the people who are on Instagram are. Because for me, I never used to sit and think like, people are out there just wanting to harm you. People are out there just wanting your marriage to end. People are out there who just don't want to see you happy. Because in my head, I think I had a very view of like, people, I mean, exactly. Everyone is my friend, and these people have followed me, so they love me. And for me, I hadn't seen enough of like the shitstorm side of Instagram or of social media for me to be like, hey, you need to guard yourself. And all y'all seen, we've been through a lot on these social media streets. So I think if I was to turn back time, that's one of the things that I would definitely do, is guard my space a bit more. These days, I'm careful about what I share when it comes to my kids, when it comes to my husband, when it comes to my home. What already I share, I feel like I already share a lot more than what other people share. But for me, from my end, I know there are things which I'm just like, I will not share this, or I will share this, simply because I know there are people out there who love me, but I also know there are people out there who would kill to hurt me. So I'm just careful to guard my space, and I wish I had gotten there a lot earlier. Other mistakes that I made is responding to every single Tom, Dick, and Wamboi who was like, would write lies about me, or who would, troll me or like hate on me. There were times when I would literally be in bed just crying. I'm like, babe, look, this person has said I'm a fat pig. Why would they say that, babe? I would like, there are times when it would actually get me down. But let me tell you something. Me right now today, even I open a message which starts with, hey, sikwa ubaya, but block. I don't know if you want to hear this, but block. I know I won't even read the whole message. I'm just like, you're blocked. Like, don't even if you write a message and just rubs me the wrong way, I'm like, this is my space. My online space is like my home. And if you come into my home and you're mean to me, or you're unkind to me, or you make me feel uncomfortable, I'm kicking you out. I'm gonna kick you out. That's the reality, of life right now. So I mean, I wish at the beginning I had known, and a lot of young content creators I know go through this a lot, but you have to be prepared for those haters, be prepared for the trolls, be prepared for all the negativity, because to you, as I view you, you're there sitting thinking, oh, I'm really helping people with this money mandate. But there's someone there sitting thinking, so she thinks she's if she's so good at money, then why is she a billionaire? Such people, they're just so fake. There are people sitting there saying that and thinking that. So, I mean, for me, I wish I had been more prepared for how negative it could get on these streets. But I guess some of these things you can only know once you experience them, because
once you experience them,
it can be a lot.
Exactly. And the other day, actually, based on that negativity, I remember I was giving advice, some money advice on one of my platforms, and I was told you're entitled, you're rude, you're arrogant, and you're not in touch with the real world, because there's no money here, so fuck you. I'm like, okay, all right, granted. Okay, granted. But there's also a fine line between, I don't think there's a fine line, but sometimes one of the mistakes also I made, while responding to the Tom, Dick, and Wamboi, first, guys, that needs to be on a t-shirt. While responding to Tom, Dick, and Wamboi, one of the mistakes I used to make was, now, sometimes some of the criticism was constructive. It's just people sometimes just don't know how to word it, or maybe they call me on a bad day. But nowadays, I read to understand and not just to respond, because sometimes the feedback is a little bit constructive. Most of the time, no. but sometimes it's actually quite constructive. Guys are really, really tagging their pages here. I'm so happy. Thanks, guys. I want Murugi to address online businesses right now because she has one that is doing very well.
Online business.
Short up in terms of following. I hope your sales are doing well because I love your products. It's like you went into the minds of every Kenyan woman or every African woman to see the stuff that we like. Because when I see earrings, shoes, bags, I'm like, I would buy that, I would wear that, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Online mistakes that businesses, maybe even on Instagram, because we're Instagram now, are making. What can you advise them? Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I obviously had a bit of a head start because I have my platform already. But even with that, I feel like there are definitely some tactics that I used which are beneficial for small businesses. For example, having good quality pictures of your items. There are some pages you go and a picture of the top is on the floor. No one can see what the product is that you said. People love items on them. People love seeing items being worn by actual people. That's number one. DM for price. I've already seen someone saying, yeah, definitely don't do DM for price. And also,
Ipti, that's Ipti. Good.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's such a big thing. Another thing that I see businesses doing is by the time you start a business, my assumption is that you have started it because you've seen a gap or a need in people's lives and you are trying to fill it. Now, people don't want to come online and just necessarily see you saying, okay, bag, 1,200 bob, earrings, this, you know, 1,000 shillings. That can work for some people, like me, for example, because I already have the ready audience. But it's really important for you to show how is your product going to help them? How is it making their lives easier? You know, so for example, let's say you have, I don't know, an earrings business or whatever. Show us how you style the earrings for a day at the office because the people who are buying your products are going to the office. So show us how you style it for the office, or you're going to meet your mother-in-law. Would you pick these ones or these ones? Try to be a bit more like, how does this product fit into your audience's life? Because that's what they want to see. They don't want something which is like an additional, or this is just an additional burden. They want to see, how does this help you? The pages I love to follow is like pages that have like kids clothing, you know, things like that. So I want to see, and I can see it and I can be like, oh, by the time is going to look so cute in that. And when they're telling me, oh, it's warm, or, you know, this one is just like, as the cold season is coming up and like, you know, this is going to help your kids not get a homa. Those are the things that encourage me as someone who is like, you know, a shopper to buy. Another thing, consistency goes whether it's your personal page or on a business page. If I come on your business page and the last time you posted on the feed is June 2021, I'm not buying anything. There are sometimes that brands even approach me, or small businesses approach me and they're like, oh, we would like to advertise with you. And I go to their page and I tell them I can't even let you advertise with me, because if I send my audience to your page and they go and they see that you're not constantly updating your products, they'll just be like, no, is this business even in, you know, are you guys even still operating? Are you guys still, are they a scam or something like that? So be consistent. It doesn't have to be to the extent that I do it at Wild. As we do it, I do it like this because we have a ton of products and it's retail. Sometimes it needs to move really fast. But at least per day, if you are running a business per day, you need to have one post or one reel up on your feed, and you need to have at least 3 to 4 stories. Okay, that should be a benchmark. At least 3 to 4 stories which are interesting and engaging, because they're called stories. They are not called, they're not like just supposed to be picture stories. And at least one feed or one reel on the page. I realized sometimes that it's really difficult to do that, especially if you are, that's your side hustle, but you gotta try, babe. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta try. You just gotta try, guys.
You have to try. You have to try. I think, and I like that people are just, sorry guys, I'm holding my phone because it needs to charge, so it's going to be a bit weird. People are sharing some of the mistakes they've seen. I've seen someone saying hard selling is a mistake, as we had said, DMing for price. There's no need. If you're on Instagram and your business, why are you asking me to DM for price? Someone has said tons and tons of disclaimers on the bio. No, like, it's very scary. I would not want to buy from you. Like, customer service should be, you know, it should be easier than that. And a mistake I see a lot of businesses making is you're not advertising. You open the shop and then you think, because Instagram has millions of people, someone will automatically find your shop. And I want you to comment about, one, getting influencers to advertise these pages, and two, having sponsored posts as well. And also how maybe having something like a website would be relevant. You cannot start a business and assume people know you're there. So you have to be able to also just market that business. Murugi, what would you advise people considering on this live right now, people considering to hire an influencer versus maybe sponsoring your posts? What would you say?
Okay, I think both of those could be really good platforms. I have seen businesses on Instagram use sponsored posts and for them to do really well. Shop New Level
Yeah.
is one of them. Hekaya is
Yeah.
another. I've seen Icon
Yeah.
do it. I've seen a lot of Kenyan brands do it. As we haven't done any sponsoring of posts because thank God our sales are already almost unmanageable already, so we can't even afford to have more people coming to buy. So for now we haven't done any sponsored posts, but I think they're
Yeah.
definitely useful. But by the time you do that, you need to have your basics right. I need to be
Yeah.
able to come to your page and be able to see a coherent feed. I need to be able to see that there's someone who's going to respond to my messages. Like, I mean, if some people are DMing you and you're replying after 2 days, I mean, there we can't even, customer service is what's going to keep people there. It's what's going to keep people buying over and over again. So make sure you have your basics first before you even think of advertising. Because if you advertise and then people come and you can't serve them, you've lost those customers forever. They're never coming back. They're not gonna come and buy from
That's
you
true.
again.
That's true.
Using
That's true.
influencers, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Using influencers definitely works, but
Yeah.
there's always a big but.
But
It can't just be any influencer. Yeah, it can't just be any influencer. Sometimes I get brands who want to come and advertise, and I just tell them, to be honest, I don't think my audience is going to buy that, because I know my audience, and I have my analytics, and I can show them it's mostly women. It's mostly women between this age and this age. So if you're selling me, I don't know, supplements for women over 80, I'll tell you, I'm confident. I don't know how it's going to perform. You know, you just need to temper your expectations. So do some kind of research around which influencer creates the kind of content that fits my brand. You know, so that also you're not going to an influencer and telling her, Ivy, you need to change your entire style so that you can be able to
so that you can sell my clothes.
It should never be that. Yeah. So choose a good platform, a platform of a content creator who matches your energy of your brand. Secondly, your ad needs to be nice. Take time to create good ads. And I don't think it's that difficult these days. Download Videoleap, iMovie, what's this other one called? Wondershare, Filmora, whatever it is comes on your phone. Download an app that enables you to just create a really nice, engaging ad. Research has shown that if you don't captivate people within the first 2 seconds, 2 seconds of any piece of content, people have scrolled. So you've put your
people don't have that time.
Yeah, they don't have that time. People are so busy. So in the first 2 seconds, it needs to be captivating enough for people to actually stay on that ad. So make a nice ad. And then lastly, obviously you need to be selling a product or a service that people actually need. So by the time you're starting a business, please make sure you have done the research around it's something people actually need. And I don't mean like you've asked a couple of friends and they have said, hey, by the way, me hata sipatangi jeans, and then based off of those 2 people, you now have started the business. Please don't listen to people like that. Make sure you have spoken to many people, you have spoken to people in business, because sometimes someone will say something, you think that it's a real thing, everyone is suffering from it. But no, me, I've never struggled to find jeans. And now there's your business. There are days where I can advertise 2 businesses and one will come back and tell me, oh my God, this ad did so well, we sold out of these robes, or we sold out of these earrings or whatever. And the other one will be like, okay, we got some people clicking onto it, but we haven't made any sales yet. And the reality is that sometimes you're just selling something that right now people don't need. And that's just what it is. I can advertise the hell out of it, but if people don't want that thing, they're just not gonna buy it. That's the reality.
I like that. And I need to call out this business here, Jan and Beauty Products. We've just been told you have to create engaging ads. So spamming the comment section with all these posts, I'm not sure who's going to be able to do that. That's the other thing I see businesses do. Don't come to people's comments and spam it. I sell. It's taken as spam. Murugi, there's something you said. I've lost my trail of thought because of this beauty product ads.
Let me add one more thing then, as you're trying to remember.
Okay. Tell me.
Let me add another thing is that people like to be able to engage with you, and engagement means that I'm talking to you as I'm having this live, but you guys are also talking to us via the comments. People love to be able to share how they also feel, despite the fact that, okay, you might not be able to engage with them one-on-one if it's like a huge number, but creating user-generated content, so to speak, or like audience-generated content, goes a long way. Money Monday, for example, is 100%.
Is all user-generated.
Audience-generated, because people on my page can learn not just from me, but from everyone else who follows me. And that actually makes it easier for you as a business or a content creator for you to share what other people are doing, what other people are wearing, what other people are liking, what pages, what music are other people listening to, what movies are other people watching. Like, make it about them, not always about you. Make it about everyone else, so that people also feel like it's not just me and Murugi, it's me, Murugi, and the 300,000 other people who are here. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I've remembered what it is that I wanted to say. I don't know if it's a Kenyan thing. People can comment if I'm wrong. Do you remember the quail egg saga? One person sells quail eggs, Kenyans run to quail eggs. So there's this thing where Kenyans see one thing booming and then they run. They get rid of all their research, they run to it. And I know I watched an interview of yours where you were commenting about keeping up with trends. And you said, what did you say is better than a trend? Being authentic is trendy. Something like that.
I said being authentic will always be on trend, because no one can replicate your essence. No one can replicate yours, Ivy. Even me, if I decide to start Money Monday now, I can't do Money Monday like Ivy. Even if it's the same Money Monday, I can't do it like Ivy because I'm not her and I don't have her essence.
So avoid this copycatting thing that Kenyans do. You've mentioned a number of apps that people need to download to help them in their businesses. How about maybe your favorite books or your favorite articles, your favorite courses for people in this industry?
Hey, I don't know if I can be able to help you guys there. I don't know if I can help you guys there. What I would say is books, I haven't read as many books, I would say, or articles, but anytime I come across something like social media, there's a guy I like to follow on Instagram. He's called Brock Johnson or something like that, but he basically shares a lot of like hacks and a lot of tips for creators and for growth on Instagram. But anytime I come across something like just maybe a documentary on Netflix, maybe it could be a movie about social media, I'll always watch it. For some reason I never like archive them in my mind. I just get the information that I'm getting, and then that's what it is. But I'll start thinking about that, Ivy. So many a sport. Can you share with us? What are your articles?
I was going to say, people should come to your page. Let's start there.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in this industry, go to Murugi's page. She's always very eager to share information. She's always on these lives. I don't get it. I don't know how you have the time. I don't know how you balance. I hate being asked that question. How do you balance? But I'd have loved to ask you how you balance. Guys, I think I'm going to give it maybe another 10 minutes to ask any questions that you may have for Murugi. I think the phone has charged a little bit more. Let me just move it back. Let me see if there's no questions in the question tag. So I don't know if there are comments that would come as questions. In the meantime, Murugi, you can be telling us, what is it that we can expect from Murugi in the next 2 years, 5 years? I know you said you work step by step. Have you thought that way? Because I saw you, there's a post you did and I was obsessed. Wild by Murugi, a comment on the Empire, wild homes, wild. I was like, girl.
Well, I know. What do I want? Right now, I feel like my youngest baby is wild. So I really want to work on solidifying it. I am right now working on like setting up processes and systems so it can operate on its own as a business without necessarily requiring as much of my input. So that's what I'm working on, and I'll probably be working on that for the next 6 months to a year. I already see that we're going to need to move to a bigger store. So that will probably come sometime next year, because there's a lot happening in this one. So we might move to a bigger store. A lot of my focus in the next few years is that and TMI podcast, because the podcast has it's developed faster than we had anticipated, requiring more work than we had anticipated, but also giving us more returns than we had anticipated at this point. So working on just continuing to develop really good content, continuing to bring the things that people love, and trying to move it Africa-wide. Already we do have an Africa-wide footprint, but most of our listeners are Kenyan, I guess. But we're really looking to expanding that and ensuring that our content can be appreciated by people around around the continent for now, eventually around the world, but around the continent. Maybe even us will change our handle to TMI Podcast Africa. Like, just
do it.
Africa.
It's a manifest. It's me manifesting Africa, man.
Amen. Manifest. But yeah, I mean, when I think of my goals, whenever I think of like 2 years, 5 years, I usually just think about it in terms of my kids. Like, as soon as someone asks me that, I'm like, how old will Tana be in 2 years? How old will Mukeni be in 5 years? Kind of thing. Because I don't know, a lot of the way I see my life is structured around my children. Like now, even
Yeah.
now, I'm just like, okay, 7:18, I will have enough time for me to drive home and be able to put the girls to bed. Like, because a lot of my life is structured around them. So just thinking about how I can continue to be a great mom and a great wife, and an all-round better person. A lot of my life, I feel like I don't really plan it. I usually just like, it's like tunaenda to, you know, we're just going, we're just going, and then something happens, something awesome happens, and then another awesome thing. Then I think of an idea. I'm like, that's something we can do, and then we do it. I don't know if I would recommend that for everyone. I'm just saying that's me, but I don't know if I would recommend that for everyone.
For everybody, your methods are so. Hey man, I love your methods.
Yeah.
Definitely something. I don't know if I would recommend for everybody. I'm seeing people saying we love you in France. We love you in Rwanda. So guys, what are your flags? What are your flags? What are your flags? Where are you listening to this from? Where do you listen to TMI from? And I have seen some questions in the question box. I'm gonna pick a few that I feel are pretty interesting. Murugi, how do you approach brands if you're new to influencing? How do you approach brands, and how do you price yourself?
The
rate card question.
Wow, how to price yourself. I hope you all caught Eli Mwenda's thing on I mean, his stories about how to price yourself. I watched that. Watched those stories and instantly changed my rate card, because I was like, how am I charging the same for a story, and somebody has like 100K followers and we're charging the same? What's going on? Oh my God. But I hope you caught that. I feel like someone else needs to do that. Ivy, maybe for Money Monday you can have like a thing where you share those kinds of things. But how to price yourself, I would say try and benchmark with people. Try and benchmark with people in the industry. If you know, for me at the time I was starting content creation, I had worked in agency, and I was doing PR and things like that. So I already had contacts in agency and contacts with like content creators we had worked with when I was in agency. So it was easy for me to reach out to them and be like, how much do you guys charge for this? How much do you charge for this? There's an app, I think, not an app, I think it's a website. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Blue Door or something like that, where you can go and kind of see how people outside Kenya
Glassdoor.
Glassdoor.
Yeah.
So you can go on there and you can also check. But also another thing that I do with my assistant a lot is I go with what feels right in my spirit. Somehow, anytime like a client asks for like something, or like I'm updating my rate card, I'm like, does that feel right based on the value that I know I'm offering? Sometimes I'll write there, this is 250K, but I can just feel like, no, I know that what I'm offering is more than that. And I kind of just, I go with how I'm feeling, because I've been doing this long enough for me to know the value that I'm offering is worth this amount of money, you know? What was the first question she said about pricing yourself?
How do you approach brands?
And how to approach brands.
How do you approach them?
I've really never been one for approaching brands, to be honest. It's been
it's
from at the very beginning of my journey. I used to write proposals a few times. I think I maybe wrote 5 to 10 proposals in total, until I realized that oftentimes companies already have their budget, they already have their campaign that they are going to do. They're already like it was already in their plan. So now your proposal of how you want to have this thing is not necessarily going to change their minds, although it does work sometimes. If you have a really compelling proposal, they definitely will. But I don't have enough experience in that. For me, especially since after the first like 6-7 months of being a content creator, when work started becoming consistent, I stopped sending proposals altogether. I haven't sent any since. For now, I just wait and see and get the work that comes to me, and it's always been enough. It's always been overwhelmingly enough. So I don't do that, but perhaps that's something that I could think about, because I have like proposal templates. So for example, a brand will reach out to me and tell me, please, could you create a proposal because we want to work with you on this, create a proposal based on this budget or something like that, and then we'll do it. But not just like a cold call. It always helps, I guess, if you have some sort of contact, or if someone can introduce you to someone. I don't know, has your experience been different, Ivy?
Definitely. Well, I mean, once you grow your brand and you have proof of concept, the jobs come, I don't want to say easier, but they come easier, because, and especially if you have a niche. So the first thing you need to consider when you're getting into this space is you can't be everything for everybody. You can't talk about everything for everybody. When you have that niche, you will end up just funneling a lot of the jobs towards you. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is something that you taught me, Murugi. You said brands are not just sitting there knowing who the hell you are. Tag them in your posts. That's the one very simple, very affordable way to approach a brand. And I think you do that very deliberately and very naturally. Sometimes I don't know whether you're being paid or not. So you're in a supermarket. I'm shopping at Carrefour. whatever you buy, you can tag everything in that basket, and you never know. Especially if they see impact, if they see people following or asking about something else, they will do that. Approaching brands from the other side is, again, I don't do cold calling. Luckily, I was in marketing as well, so I did have some of those contacts. But what I would tell someone, if you've gotten that one job from a brand or whatever, do the best you can, because I guarantee you 80% of your revenue can come from 20% of your clients. It's not about introducing new clients. It's about growing your existing database. When you've been approached by Carrefour, you know very well, if you have Easter, after Easter, there's something else coming.
Christmas.
So be ahead of the game and approach your existing client. Thank you. Just grow that existing client as much as possible. It's always easier for them to work with someone they've already worked with. You're already in the system. They trust you. They've seen results. It's something content creators don't think of enough. That one client, I've been in Samsung for 2 years, because after doing content creation, I say, can I MC that for you? Can I do that for you? And then offering value. So 80% of the revenue, you'll be surprised, will come from 20% of your existing database. That's what I would say in terms of approaching brands. And don't do long-winded proposals. Nobody has that time. If you can get a personal meeting, try and do so, and then you'll have a good time. Murugi, let's do 2 more questions, because guys here are really, really keen to learn from you. Ivy, Murugi, you're always, and this is something, I did want to ask you this. Ivy and Murugi, you're always both on the move. Do you ever rest without feeling guilty? Do you feel guilty when you're taking a break?
I find it very difficult. To rest these days. Like, I'm actually struggling with that. I'm struggling with that a lot, because I am so busy. I was actually telling Nelly the other day, I missed the days before I had a shop, because in my head, I don't know what I was expecting, but like life is just so fucking hectic. It's just so much. Like, it's actually really tiring sometimes. But I'm not always on the move. It's just that when I'm on my phone, I'm on the move. So that's why a lot of the times it seems like I'm always on the move. Like today, for example, I spent the whole morning at home. I was on my bed. But I was still posting on there. So it feels like I'm rushing, but I'm just there. I'm just there. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I am trying my best to really get better at resting, because I feel myself approaching that point of like, I'm starting to dread, like, oh God, I have to do this thing. Oh God, I have to put that post up. And I really don't want to get to that place. Unfortunately, November and December are like the most hectic for content creators, is the most hectic for retail, because there are so many more brands. I'm like, where were you brands in February when you are only 2? Now you're 11. What do you want me to do with all of you? What do you want me to do with all of you? So it's like, it's a lot. But I'm really, I can't remember the last time I took like, now I'm taking a week or like 2 weeks at I'm off Instagram, I'm off social media. I need to do that. I
love that you said that. Murugi, you're so authentic. Like, you're so real. I love that. I love that you said, I need to learn how to rest, because I too, sometimes I can say, I suffer from productivity anxiety. But what I've realized, I'm like, if I'm resting, I'm like, am I being lazy? Sometimes.
And then if you're resting, you feel like, okay, you're resting now, but you know that work is still waiting for you. So you're resting, but you know that work is waiting.
Exactly. So I've learned to just, when I work, I try as much as possible to enjoy what I'm doing. And I remember that this is not me sacrificing rest time. This is me investing now so that I can rest later for longer. And then when it comes to content creation, I've created very interesting boundaries. So I had traveled recently, and I put up like 4 posts, 6 stories a day. I was resting, because that's the thing with content creation. And I admire people like you who go on holiday and you still have 4 reels. Me, I go on holiday, you will not see me create content, because that is me resting from my job. The job is creating content, so I will not do it. Like, I admire, I'm like, but I aren't you on holiday, babes? I aren't you on holiday? Me on holiday. You will not see me creating content. It's a boundary I've created very seriously.
I need to. I'm taking that from you. And even me in December, I'm going to try my best not to.
Try your best. Try your best. Let me see, guys. Let's do one last question, because a lot of these. Yes, guys, I will save the live. I always save my lives. My page is a free online center, like Coursera. It's very cool. Okay, wait. Let me see how I can figure this out. In the meantime, Murugi, please feel free to read any comments down there that you may see while I'm looking at the question box.
I've seen people saying that they want you on TMI. Could you please come and be a guest on TMI?
Of course.
Yay!
Of course.
We shall
Yeah, have some
have
water,
our
baby.
people call you
Definitely.
people.
Let's discuss. Wait, Murugi, that's one of those times when you're offline. They were like, maybe we need to have a live event where we can hear Murugi. So let's do a live event with TMI as well
Really?
and bring women
That would
and
be
whatever.
awesome. Yeah,
Like a
a women's
women's
kind of thing.
event.
I
Yeah,
love
guys
that.
were very,
I
very
love that.
excited
I'm in.
about that. All right, guys, the final question. Hi, guys. Okay, people saying you're inspirational. Mamas, you're making so much noise. Okay, my babies have arrived. I think we've actually answered most of these. Can you create a growing brand or a sustainable brand without showing your face?
Yes, you can.
What do you say to faceless influencers? Yeah.
I would say that whatever your style of content, you can still be famous. It's such a sweet little kids. This is why I had to do my live at the shop, because if I was at home, that would have been. That's why I'm finishing here, then I go home.
Yeah,
but
it's our last
I would
question.
say,
yeah,
I'm telling you. What is the question now?
Can you be a proper social media influencer?
Oh yes, without showing your face. I think you absolutely can. The number of times that I go on, I follow so many of these pages where people are just cooking. It's just their hands, and we're not even seeing anything else. Kind of like Dennis Ombachi, but without the Dennis Ombachi, just Dennis Ombachi's hands. I follow so many pages like that, and I feel like when there's a face, I feel like it makes it easier for your audience to connect with you. But I don't think it's impossible for you to connect with people without your face. It's just that showing your face will help, will fasten the process. But it's possible to do it without it. If that guy, the one for doing this, he probably would have asked, I mean, can I make money without saying anything? And look at him now. I mean, look at him. He's making so much money. So whatever your style is, whatever your unique concept is, as long as it's what feels like it's natural to you and it's not you being afraid to show yourself, but it's a creative decision you've made for a reason, then I don't see why you can't still make money.
I agree.
That. Yeah. I've seen someone
even mentioned Kenyan Dictionary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenyan Dictionary is a
exactly.
very faceless content creator. Like, who the heck is behind that? And it's so powerful and so relatable.
So relatable. Yeah. They're fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I've seen someone else asking a question who was saying, how soon of being a content creator or an influencer do you need a manager? And I'll say it's when you start realizing that you need someone else to help you stay on top of things. So for me, I think it was like 2 years in, probably like 2 years in, at the point at which I realized I'm leaving money on the table. Like emails are going unresponded to for days. I'm not being able to respond to people. I'm telling them on the phone, okay, let me send you my rate card right now. They're calling me 3 days later, like, hey, you didn't send the rate card. At that point, when you're finding that you're spending as much time administrative and logistics as you are in creating content, that's the point at which you should definitely consider having an assistant or a manager.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. I always say you cannot work on the business if you're stuck working in the business. There's no way. There's no way. So have someone who will help you. Have someone who will help you, who will work in the business so you can focus on the business.
Yes.
Yeah, I always say that.
Absolutely.
Murugi, any other question you've seen?
I don't think so.
Anything
but now
else
I need
you
to put my kids to bed. I feel like I've enjoyed this conversation. I feel like I've enjoyed this conversation so much, but it feels like we have only covered like this little corner of information.
Let's talk offline and see how we can turn this into money making webinars. Because Murugi, my God, honestly, that brain, I love it. And thank you so much for taking time to speak to my people today. What is your parting shot to our movers and to your in-betweeners and to your Murugi Munyi lovers?
Wow, lovers. I would say being able to find what is it that you like, you love doing, what is it that you're good at, and what is it that you can make money from. Being able to find that intersection is where you will find absolute happiness. It is where you're able to look at your life and be like, I'm so happy. And you're not thinking, how can I run away from this? Like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend so that I can, finally leave my job. I realize that a lot of people are still stuck in the cycle of jobs, that they are not even having careers. But I feel like we should all be aiming at having careers. And I feel like let's I don't know if you've ever done something like that. I know as over 25 you've done something about limiting beliefs, but a lot of people who I interact with have so many limiting beliefs about, like, they'll come online and they'll see, let's say, a content creator like you doing something or talking about something, and they feel like, no, it's only for Ivy's kind of people because she's special or she's in a particular kind of. By the way, guys, there's nothing actually uniquely special about like people like me or people like Ivy, except for the fact that we are out here actually doing the thing that many people are thinking about doing. So I would really, really just tell you, whatever it is you've been thinking of, that business of selling, I don't know, panties or selling bao or selling whatever, start where you are with what you have and start today. There are people who have written to me about being like, they only had 1,000 bob. They started a business with 1,000 bob. They bought worth 300, what they sold, and they have built it up slowly. Whatever. Ready.
We missed a bit. You broke, but me, I got most of it, guys.
Okay, good.
Joanne has said, start. It
Just
took her months to think, I want a shop, and she moved. And by the way, Murugi, I watched another interview of yours where you said you don't have mentors. But I dare challenge the thought that maybe Zach is your mentor. You mention him quite a bit. He gives you beautiful advice. I think, in a sense, he might be one of your mentors. Also, the other thing I want to tell you is I think you should consider a talk show. You said somewhere you're the Oprah of, you think of yourself as the Oprah of Africa. I would attend one of your talk shows. I would share it. It's very natural to you, and I think talk shows died a while back. I think you can bring them back. I would love it.
I think
guys,
so.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Someone has said that this should be a series. Ivy, let's make it a series. Let's chat offline.
Me, after you said just start, imagine it is going to be a series. I'm gonna send you a poster for next week, the week after.
Good.
And we just fucking start. Start. I love it.
Thank you so much, Ivy. I'm so honored. I'm so honored that you had me on here. I'm really honored. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking time. It is so important. Thank you for uplifting other content creators. You're always sharing your light. Thank you for uplifting me, sharing Money Monday whenever you can. Even on your feed. Have you guys seen Money Monday? I'm like, Guy, Joanne, why are you doing this to people? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, we will start a series. We will be in communication. Remember to follow Wild by Murugi Shop from Wild by Murugi. Support this small business, small upcoming business. And then, guys, we will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye, Joanne.
Good night, guys. Bye.